Hi folks, I want to welcome you to another show. It is just a couple days before December, and I can't even get an opening out. My guests are catching fish right behind me. Today I'm going to be fishing with Larry Andrews and Jerry Rosenbach. But I'll tell you what, we're out on the St. Lawrence River. We're in Akwesasne, New York, and we're in one of my very favorite places in the whole world. But this show, I think, is going to be really interesting. First, I got some great fishermen with us. Second of all, we're going to teach you some techniques. And most of all, we're going to show you that when most people quit fishing in the year, you don't have to. You can come out and you can take advantage of fishing. Just look at what Larry's got right now. Very first cast.
First cast,
it's cold as heck. We're out in the St. Lawrence River, and he's got a something.
He's running good. He's a good one.
Is it?
Oh yeah, he's a decent one. The other side. We didn't even get the net out.
This is unbelievable.
First cast, water temperature's 45 degrees. I can't even lift him, and he's a giant.
Is it?
Got.
Is it a big one?
He's a good one. I got him by one hook.
Yeah, get the net out. Hold on.
Jerry. I'll wait for Jerry to net him because I don't want to lift him. I got him by one in the nose by one little hook. There you go.
It's a 3-pounder. Solid 3 and change.
First cast on the St. Lawrence Seaway. On a suspending.
What do you think of this?
Oh, it's a great fishery.
2 fish in the boat on 2 casts.
2 casts, stick bait, cold water. This is the quality of fish, and it's even going to get better.
I'll tell you what, you see what I mean? Today's going to be pretty special. First of all, and I got to tell you, the guys I'm fishing with are avid bass fishermen. When they aren't working, even when they're working, they're probably thinking about fishing, and especially bass fishing. And I think this is a treat for them as well, to come up to this area. You know, a lot of people don't realize that in New York, we got the finest, maybe the finest bass fishing in the whole country. And I know a lot of you guys down south are really, you know, probably take an exception to that. But the fishing here is fantastic. And today, here in the St. Lawrence River, again, it's November 29th, and we're all stuffed from Thanksgiving dinner, but we're going to wear some of that off, I hope, today, catching some of these big smallies. Now, I'm fishing with a jig, and Jerry in the front of the boat, in the trolling motor, he's got a jig on as well, and Larry is using a
Rapala, a suspending.
So we'll see what works the best. And as we catch more fish, we'll show you just how to use these baits.
We're in a good body of water right here, a good section on the St. Lawrence Seaway. The last time we were out here, we caught 100 fish. 100 fish day, and we finally left. We were fatigued at the end of the day. There's one. He's a small one now. Let's see what this one is.
Perch?
This could be a perch.
That's the perch.
Here we go on a stick bait. Got a perch. And here I'm sure them big smallies will be feeding on something like this.
You think so?
Oh yeah, them 5-pounders, absolutely.
Wow.
I've had 3-pound smallmouth spit up 8 or 9 inch smallmouth. So they'll take a big bait. So
Okay, hook that one on and I'll watch it.
slide them like this so you have the flat part on the inside of the gap. That way you have a little more meat to your hook.
Okay, gotcha.
Part's on the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks. Now, that's going to make a huge difference, I know.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to get a strike this cast.
And for this application, I'm throwing fluorocarbon, 10-pound test. Very clear. We're fishing clear water. I got a split ring and a swivel snap, so I get a little more action out of the bait, and it just hovers. It don't sink, it don't float. It sits neutral in the water, and the fish just take their time, come up to it, and mouth it very slow. And it casts a mile. And you wouldn't think this color would be attractive to women. Very clear water.
No, you wouldn't.
And for some reason, this hot pink color is dynamite.
You know, we're going through a little bit of a slow stretch right now, and sometimes that amazes you because you can be getting bam, 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 and you look at the cover and it looks pretty much the same, but this is a good time when you know, there isn't action taking place all around us that kind of breaks your concentration a bit, then I can explain a little bit of what we're doing, because I think the technique is really important. No, my goodness, see, I talk about concentration being broken, and look at that. Break the concentration. Can I help you with that one, Jerry? And that's a little bigger. Yeah. You really get the? Did you get the stinger hook or the
stinger hook? That's the only thing they had. Was that stinger?
only thing, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, they have a beautiful,
Chunky,
beautiful,
fat
beautiful. Now I'll try this again if Jerry doesn't hook up again immediately.
I'll try to interrupt you.
But what we're doing is we're casting, at this point right now downstream, you can cast either way. We're drifting downstream as we're going, but casting down current from us, letting the jig hit the bottom, and then just kind of just dragging it. Now, everybody has a little bit different way that they work jigs along the bottom. Even though they might try to copy each other, everybody has a little bit different feel. But what you have to envision or visualize in your mind is what that jig is looking like as it's coming across the bottom, what those fish see. And you don't want it just screaming back to you, because the water's so cold they're not going to chase it. So you want to just let it kind of hang there, just twitch it a little bit, crawl it a little bit. And when you get a strike, it will be a sudden little tick, a tap, a thunk on your line. And that's why having a good rod with good lines does make a difference, because it transmits it a little bit better. But that's what you're looking for. You're just looking for some little change. Sometimes the strikes will be so subtle that it'll feel like you've picked up some weeds or something. But it'll be actually that fish is just picked it up and holding it. But it's not as difficult as I'm saying. I don't think it's nearly as difficult as the feel required for steelhead fishing, but it is subtle fishing.
The biggest thing you want to do is try to make the jig look like a crayfish. You know, a lot of people work the jig a little too much.
Yes.
Crayfish, especially in the cold water, barely crawl across the bottom.
Yes, they overwork it.
The more natural you make it look, the more apt those fish, especially in clear water, are to bite it.
It's a great point. Obviously, these fish think these jigs are food, so you got to make it look like the food that they eat, and how that food normally looks to them in the wild. So, have one? See, the other thing that's interesting about where we're fishing is this is a long stretch of shoreline. I say shoreline because you can see the shore pretty close to us, and shallow water, but there'll be a series of weeds that you can see in the water. Those aren't what we're really looking for. But then there'll be broken areas of just bare bottom that's rocky, gravelly, and these are the sections that the fish seem to hold on. They seem to hold in these big tables in between the weeds. Good Polaroids make a big difference because you can kind of see where to cast, but because the water is so clear here and it is so shallow. But those bass are on those open areas in between the weeds. That's the best place here. Fish?
And then another good point you mentioned earlier about shutting electronics off. We're in such shallow water that, like Jerry and Don said, we shut all our electronics off because the sound that it makes, the ticking noise, the fish know we're here. So that's another reason we're drifting with the wind. Not to hit the trolling motor. We have our electronics off because we don't need them out here. We can see the bottom. It's 4 foot. So that's the reason why we got the electronics off. Not to alert the fish to our presence being here. Because we noticed last week when we came up, when we seen the fish, we couldn't catch them. When we seen them, they seen us, we couldn't catch them. Jerry's on!
Good one, Jerry, or can't you tell?
Can't tell you.
No.
That's about number 9 so far.
You know what? I should put another stick bait on. These hooks are a little dull.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to catch this in the water, you'll see this bait suspend right down in the water. See?
Okay, yeah, let's do a whole...
It just sits right in the water column. It just suspends right there. It doesn't really rise or float. And that's what the X-Wraps are designed to do for the cold water.
So, Larry, that's how you're fishing it. You're just
Yes,
letting
I'm just letting it sit right in the fish's face.
and then now and then jerking it.
Just now and then just give a little twitch, not too aggressively, and just give it a little twitch, and the fish will, they can see it from a long distance in this clear water, and they'll just swim right up to it and just mouth it very softly, and then you just got to keep a taunt line, not tight, just taunt, just enough to feel them, and that's how I'm
Were
fishing.
they out that way? Jerry's awful good at this technique. You know, this is not the first time he's ever done this, and he's won a tremendous number of tournaments. How many tournaments have you actually won that with the smallmouth?
Probably 70, 75.
Have you really? And you always basically are a jig fisherman, right?
Not always, but probably 80% of the time.
Really?
Jigging and tubing and stuff like that. Slow presentations.
I think I hit.
I've learned over the years that big fish are lazy. And if they can get a meal real easy,
Yeah.
something crawling along the bottom in their face, they're going to take it before they'll do a lot of chasing and so on. Not that they won't chase certain times, but they like a nice easy meal.
Yeah. Don't we all?
There you go. Now we lost the size that we had last week. Temperature of the water, we got 46 degrees. Jerry's got it now, the one he's hooked up.
Yeah, this is a nice one.
There you go.
There.
Yeah, he's a good one.
That's a
Pee-wee.
pretty nice one. Is that the nicest one so far today?
Yeah, I think
Let me
so.
turn this right.
These 3 and change.
Yep.
They're stuck good.
Should we put him in a live well, Jerry?
Nah, we'll let him be. He's solid. 3 1/4, 3 1/2.
All right, Pee-wee.
Jan?
Another one. It's coming.
We just lost the size.
Grow a little bit.
There's one. There's a nice one, too.
Is it?
Yeah, I need a net on this one.
Oh. Let me come down. I'll get you.
All right.
Hold on just a minute.
Okay.